a lot of people were bothered when Jerry said he's a leader. And what I said earlier is gangs have leaders. There's leaders on Wall Street that are seedy. I mean, look at what happens on Wall Street, 2008. A lot of those guys you thought were leaders at Enron were crooks. A lot of those people on Wall Street, a lot of people that end up on magazines. We've had presidents impeached. What is a leader? Now, to me, Greg Hardy, bad human, but does he have leadership qualities? Perhaps. Now, that bothers you.
It really does. If he's a leader of that team, then the Cowboys have some serious problems. And the fact that Jerry Jones is talking about him that way, it makes me very upset. Because I understand if you're going to be a bad guy, like you're a jerk, you talk down to people, you say nasty things, but hitting a woman is completely different. And then not taking responsibility for it or trying to change your actions or getting help for it.
The court system in Carolina is to blame there. It should be noted he was convicted and they, through a loophole, let him off. So should you not draft any player? I'm asking. I don't have an answer.
I actually have kind of a controversial view of Ray Rice because of all of this. I think after Ray Rice, what he did, which was terrible and awful, he took a lot of steps afterward to make sure it was better. Him and his wife are going to church. They're getting help. He's promised, publicly that he's not going to do it again. He's changed his ways and the ways that he speaks. But Greg Hardy is not changing anything. He's not taking any responsibility for it.
Which ticks you off.
It does. It does. And I don't see how you can call a person like that a leader and say that he has earned the respect of the locker room and he's inspiring. Like, why do you want a guy like that who can't take responsibility for his own actions?
Because
what else is he not taking responsibility for?
How do you classify leadership? A lot of times leadership is loud, it's high volume, it's intimidating. I mean, I would say leadership is very hard to define. In different businesses, it's different things. At your church, it's one thing. On your gridiron, it's another. I look at Greg Hardy and I think, creep, boom, football player, great. And I'm okay with somebody saying, oh, he's a leader as a football player. And he's also a pig as a human being. I separate him. I'm okay with it. I'm not okay with his actions. I'm not okay with him. But a lot of people, I just wanted your take on that because a lot of people are really bothered by Greg Hardy. And I understand that. But I think it's very hard to classify leadership. Dan Campbell in Miami now suddenly have biceps will travel through cliches and rah-rah is suddenly now a great leader. And the team is outscored opponents 58-3 in the first half. Dan Campbell's got no coaching experience at that level.
But is it really that he's a great leader or is it just that he's a great player?
Well,
Jerry Jones is going on and on. This guy has only been with the team for, half a year?
Well, leadership is, it says here, a leader commands a group. So again, it's fuzzy. What is leadership? I mean, again, leaders aren't, you can be despicable and a leader.
See, I think he's just trying to pump him up. I think he's a great player and he's trying to make sure that he feels like he's got the ownership's support. I just don't see how a guy like that could be a leader because a leader takes responsibility for his actions and puts things on himself.
On
and says,
paper, I agree with that,
fault.
but I don't think that's the real world. I think on paper, a leader takes responsibility for his actions. That sounds good in a book. I don't think all leaders do. I think a lot of leaders are good at brown-nosing bosses and figuring their way around controversy, and that's not leadership, but they're viewed as leaders. I mean, let's be honest in this country. Some of the leaders have done despicable things.